pathetic. 45 is lashing out as his election prospects are darkening. 45 wanted to see a rocket launch on the day the U.S. topped 100,000 deaths from the COVID-19. 45 was also at Florida's Kennedy Space Center to watch two astronauts blast off inside a capsule built by billionaire Elon Musk. The squatter may have been hoping for an escape, maybe not from Earth, but from the drumbeat of devastating headlines. The stormy skies above Cape Canaveral seemed to echo 45's temper. A tragic time for the country has become a dire moment for the squatter's re-election prospects. The toll of the coronavirus pandemic is mounting. Nearly 40 million Americans are out of work, and 45 is trailing the presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden among key sectors of the population and in crucial swing states. His ability to communicate directly to his inbred voters had been undercut by Twitter's decision to begin fact-checking. They began fact-checking lies in his feed, and he still cannot hold his Klan rallies that are crucial to his campaign strategy. The circumstances left 45 fuming behind the scenes. The squatter believes he's being unfairly blamed for the number of COVID-19 deaths. He is being blamed for the deaths, but we're not treating him unfairly. He is responsible for these fucking deaths because he was too fucking slow to respond. And he's losing the public relations battle over his handling of the pandemic, says a White House official. In response, 45 has lashed out repeatedly at his critics to a degree that's even rare for him. He has been stoking unfounded conspiracies about a decades-old accidental death in the former congressional office of Joe Scarborough, which is now his cable news nemesis, prompting the family of the deceased woman to ask 45 to stop. He has claimed without evidence that Barack Obama spied on his campaign, which Barack Obama didn't do. And he basically claimed that Obama committed all this criminal activity, which also wasn't true. Which 45 has dubbed it the Obamagate, which doesn't exist. He has continued to undermine public health efforts by refusing to wear a mask in public. He's further freed the country's democratic institutions by conducting the purge of the inspectors general tasked with ferreting out government waste, and he sought to undermine faith in November's election, attacking states' use of the mail-in ballots, which, by the way, is legal, and to have a track record of expanding voter access and have not been linked to widespread voter fraud. It's the instinct to punch back, which sometimes plays out in ways like this, the White House official says, warning against trying to ascribe too much grand strategy to the outburst. Aides close to 45 have come to see his Twitter feed as a release valve for the squatter and have given up on trying to rein in his impulses on the platform. Some observers see in 45's outburst an attempt to change the subject. The headlines tomorrow will read 100,000 deaths, says Gregory Goodale, an expert in political communications at Northeastern University. Does 45 want faux news to carry that headline, or Joe Scarborough is a murderer, or Joe Biden is PC for wearing a mask, or mail-in voting will rig the election? This isn't the first time 45 has lobbed incendiary tweets to try to deflect, but a look over their strategy has rarely been tested during a public health crisis in a time of national grief. With American lives on the line and a squatterable election just months away, as the pandemic continues, 45's electoral prospects are worsening. The Real Clear Politics polling average finds 45 trailing Biden by an average of more than 5 points nationally, and losing to the former vice president in most key swing states, including Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the troika that delivered him the White House in 2016. 45 was losing support even among senior citizens, who were an important part of his 2016 coalition. Some of the voters who cast ballots for him in 2016, out of antipathy for Hillary Clinton, say that they're abandoning him now, and they're disillusioned by his response to the coronavirus because he didn't act fast enough on it. Some prominent Republicans say the squatter has crossed the line with the attacks he's lobbed in recent days. And they said that we're in the middle of a pandemic. He's the squatter-in-chief of this nation, and it's causing great pain to the family of the young woman who died, so I would urge him to stop it, says Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming, and she's the chair of the House Republican Conference, said May 27th, representing 45's repeated implication that Scarborough had murdered Lori Kosutis, which he didn't, and police ruled the death as an accident at the time, and Scarborough was hundreds of miles away. Mitt Romney, the only Republican senator to vote to convict 45 of abuse of power during his impeachment trial, called 45's suggestion about Scarborough's So Mitt Romney had basically called 45's suggestion about Scarborough's involvement in Clutis's death foul and baseless, and he says it's enough already. For its part, the 45's 2020 campaign is attempting to reframe his tantrums as part of his blunt personality that gets results, which it really doesn't. A new national ad released May 27th champions 45 as a bull in a China stop, which not really, arguing that 45's brusque, provocative manner can break entrenched Washington gridlock. 45 is not always polite, the ad says, but Mr. Nice Guy won't cut it. Well, he was never nice anyway to begin with, and he was never polite to begin with. But as 45 continues grasping for distractions, even the rocket launch couldn't provide the outlet he craved just 16 minutes before liftoff. The launch was scrubbed because of bad weather.